Meet Lewis Butterfield. Say hi, Lewis.
Hello.
He's a big deal when it comes to LinkedIn video.
After racking up 10.3 million impressions in the last 6 months, I've studied my most successful posts and found that they all have 3 of these 4 qualities. I call it the fart framework.
You see, Lewis doesn't believe in creating boring, ordinary videos for LinkedIn.
This is that Hootsuite. He doesn't give a about going viral.
Like, this platform is boring as hell. It still is. But maybe we can make it a little bit more interesting by injecting some personality.
Why?
I just wanted to find a platform where there wasn't a lot of people doing it and start doing it the best on that platform. And I don't think I'm the best on the platform necessarily, but I do think that I've carved a little name out for myself.
He's being humble. He didn't want to say the king of LinkedIn video here. So Lewis, why should people watch our conversation?
In 6 months, I've gone from 859 to over 9,000 followers, gotten 18 million impressions on my posts, 36,000 engagements, and I've done it all by focusing on one kind of content: video.
You're listening to Dopamine Hits, a podcast for the chronically online. Hello Lewis, how are we today?
Hello. I am good, thank you. Hi, Stephen.
Thank you so much for joining me. Right, let's dive straight in. Let's not mess around. You've helped countless brands with video. What do you think it is that they still get wrong?
Like common mistakes? Yeah, I'd say a big problem with LinkedIn video, especially, that's where a lot of my focus is going these days, is people don't. Okay, so it's a couple of things. One, they don't ask what their people want, so they'll just make videos and just kind of guess and then hope that it resonates with people, when really their ideal client doesn't care about it because they never bothered to talk to their ideal client beforehand about, like, hey, what do you want me to talk about? And then they'll just tell you. So that's one thing. The second thing is that most people tend to ramble when it comes to videos. So especially with LinkedIn these days, I've noticed this trend now where it's favoring shorter and shorter videos. So you got to pack a message in there pretty damn fast. And if you are elaborating on these points, it's okay to go off script. But if you're going off script and then just like going out to left field, you're going to lose people's attention really fast. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. But, it's true. This is the main problem when it comes to videos. People just kind of start motor mouthing and then they lose the audience.
So you've identified yourself as the LinkedIn, the LinkedIn video guru. Why LinkedIn?
I am the guru. So funny. Why LinkedIn? Yeah, because there was opportunity. So I had a video production company where, I would go out to businesses and I'd video their business, and I would, give them a nice fancy brand story video or testimonial video or whatever. Wasn't making a lot of money because there wasn't a lot of demand for it. There wasn't good product market fit. No reason to buy one of those, because, like, what does that tangibly do for a business? Well, it's really hard to correlate real business results to these sort of like really nice videos for big organizations, but not where I live, right? And so I was like, man, like, what could I do? I like video. I'm good at video. How do I do this? YouTube is so competitive. Instagram is so competitive. TikTok is so competitive. LinkedIn. Now there's an arbitrage opportunity. And that was the smartest move of my life, because there's not a lot of people doing video on LinkedIn. And most of the people doing video on LinkedIn are doing it in a way that is so easy to scroll past that it's really easy to stand out if you have like some skill to do so, or you can hire an editor to do it, right? And I saw the bar was really low. I was like, I'm going to do LinkedIn video. There's an opportunity here. And I didn't know this at the time, but it correlated really well with the LinkedIn video feed and the explosion of impressions and stuff like that happened in October and November. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know the video feed was even a thing. I didn't know LinkedIn was favoring video at the time. I just wanted to find a platform where there wasn't a lot of people doing it and start doing it the best on that platform. And I don't think I'm the best on the platform necessarily, but I do think that I've carved a little name out for myself, fortunately, which is great.
Yeah, no, your big thing is that I've really been sort of obsessing over recently. And, it's always a bit cringe to sort of tell someone that you've been obsessing over their content, but, please spare me my blushes. Is that I think it's fair to say that your storytelling style is very unique, and, it's all about not being boring, I guess.
Yes.
Why why is there that sort of baked in irreverence, and, I guess another word may be slightly kooky, and I'm using all these words in a very positive sense, but of course, you know uh, a certain amount of me thinks that, is clearly just quite an authentic style for you, but when I watch your videos and I'm talking to you now, there does seem to be a slight, dissonance and disconnect, in the sense that you're not that massive extroverted,
Yeah, yeah.
quite
Well,
chilled, laid back.
yeah, it's both, man. So really, really valuable thing that I learned from working with a life coach actually is that y- it, our personalities aren't, they don't have one gear to them. We're all multifaceted beings, right? And the best leaders know when to shift gears to accomplish certain tasks. And so for me, when I hop on a video, I know I turn into this, like, my stage presence comes out. I was a big fan of Freddie Mercury. I'm a musician. I went to music school. So I was a huge fan of Freddie Mercury. I'm a singer. Um, huge fan of Nardwar, the Human Serviette, if you know who that is. So these guys have huge presence, right? And they're very unique. And these are my idols. And I just take after them, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's not that I'm not being myself when I get on camera, or I'm not being myself when I'm here in this stage. It's just like, for me to act like how I would act on camera in a podcast wouldn't really fit the vibe, you know? Like, this is more like a chill one-on-one conversation. Meanwhile, I know when I'm on camera, it's going to be edited with stupid effects, and there's going to be like, you know, weird things flying into the screen and stuff. And I'm just kind of matching that energy and the pace and the feeling of the music that I'm going to be putting on top of the video too. So my storytelling at the beginning was like very much like, this platform is boring as hell. It still is, but maybe we can make it a little bit more interesting by injecting some personality into this. And lo and behold, a ton of people thought the same. And so now there's all these people like coming out of the closet, coming out of the woodwork, being like, I want this place to be more interesting too. They're like tossing off their suits and their ties and like getting down to their tie-dye t-shirts. And it's fantastic to see, because to be honest, I think that's the way business is going in general, especially with Gen Z, wherever you live. Um, like it's more business casual, right? It's not that staunchy gray beige thing anymore. And I can say that because not only is it true for the founders that I work with, but also for like the large companies that I work with too, right? This is the style that they're going for, because they know that this is the direction that marketing is going in. It's this like open, authentic, whatever style.
Yeah, no. What's your view on that word beginning with A, authentic? It's so overused, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Authentic is a really, nobody knows how to be authentic. Okay, it's like, it's a stupid word. It's something that people say when they don't know how to articulate what it is that they're really trying to say. And for me, so I kind of break it down to like, marketing is about creating emotion in your ideal client. That's how I see it. And for me, the three primary emotions that I can hit on are humor, which is what I do, or memes, that kind of stuff. Heartstrings, so really heartfelt Sarah McLachlan, that kind of stuff. Or FOMO. This would be what Laura Acosta is really, really good at. And FOMO is sort of like the fear, like, oh, I gotta act now. Heartstrings is that, oh, I can relate to this person. They seem like a really good person. and humor is like, hey, I can gel with this guy. And so to be authentic, it's really just a matter of like, which emotion do you want your target audience to feel, and which one most resonates with who you are, like how you normally act with people. Are you a funny person? I mean, that's so pretentious. I'm a funny person, so I make funny content. But you know what I mean, right? Like
Yeah,
I flamboyant and I talk a lot and that kind of stuff. So it matches my style. Um, for somebody who's more like heartfelt and maybe reserved, they would do well with the heartstrings approach, right? And for somebody who's more authoritative and wants to like, build brand and all this like really, the stuff that you hear all the big LinkedIn accounts talk about, who are awesome by the way. I love these people. This is no shade on them by the way. The FOMO route would be the best route for them to take. If you're not funny and you don't want to like touch people's heartstrings, go the FOMO route. And if you choose one of those three, they all work, but it just depends on who you are.
I mean, when you say it like that, you make it sound so simple. But in your sort of vast experience and experimentation so far, because you've posted a lot of videos recently, do you think, or not do you think, what's the sort of best storytelling structure for, a 30-second LinkedIn video? Well, I guess first question, is there a best storytelling structure?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, what do you want to get from it? Is it growth or is it engagement? Are you looking for people to buy from you? Like, what what would you want out of it? Just for this
I want,
hypothetical situation.
I want growth. I'm all
You
about
want
growth.
Okay, so it's all about growth. Cool. So for growth, a really good example of this would be one that I posted yesterday. And that was really, really based around removing yourself from the video. So it's not about you, it's about the information that you're sharing. So for this video, I'll just use this video as an example. What I did was I first proved that this framework worked. I was sharing a story framework. I proved that it worked. And then I was like, okay, cool. Now that you know that it works, here's the exact structure. And that's it. That's all the video was. And it was not like, hi, I'm Lewis Butterfield. I'm the king of LinkedIn video, and I'm going to show you today how I did this. And it's like, nobody cares. Because the thing is, when you add more of yourself into the video, it makes it less shareable. Because now people feel less comfortable to share it because it's about you and not about the information you're sharing, right? They share things because they want to appear smart, or they share things because they want to appear funny. But if it's about somebody else being smart or funny, it makes it less shareable. So you want to try to remove yourself and be the conduit for information while doing that. So I follow this structure. I call it the bread and butter. I totally ripped Dakota Robertson off because he's my friend and I can do that. But anyways, it's basically the if you ever heard the what, why, how framework, but essentially I've just tweaked it a little bit for video, where essentially you start with a hook, and ideally you put a little bit of social proof in that hook too, to like make sure that people know that you know what you're talking about, because people are always looking for a reason to scroll away. Hook, some social proof, and now that you've got that, you go into the why, right? Like, why should somebody listen? Why is this important to them? Sometimes, if you do it well, like the video yesterday did quite well, the why and the social proof are the same thing. Like, it's enough reason to watch the video if I got 260 followers and 11 qualified leads from a text post. That's enough reason to keep watching because you want to get those same results, right? So cool. You can compress those all into one. And then from there, you go into the how. So the how is just step by step. How do you do this? Here's the exact granular, follow this process to get this result. And then call to action. And call to action could be anything from like follow along if you want more of this, to yesterday I was like, there's a cheat sheet in the comments, check it out. Or it could be like, if you want to work with me, there's a link in the comments or whatever, right? It could be anything. But if you're looking at growth, you want to make it less about working with you and more just about the information that you're sharing. So that's why I chose there's a cheat sheet in the comments, because it's just pure giving. It's like, here you go. Here's the framework. It's yours now. Take it. This has nothing to do with me or working with me. This is just purely about making something as helpful as possible that is as shareable as possible. And if more people share it, more people will see it. More people see it, it means more people will follow. And lo and behold, I got like 200 followers from that video. Got like something stupid I can check right now. It did really well, like really, really well. Let me see here.
So whilst you check, I think there's like uh, obviously there's lots of really interesting things. No, if you found it, then go on.
Found it. Yeah, it's four. I got 425 engagements, 282 comments, and 8 reposts on this thing. So there's plus a couple hundred followers. So it's like a really good growth way to remove yourself, make it about the framework, and just give as much value as you possibly can. Yeah.
And would I be correct in assuming that you're sort of basically advocating for, rather than, I mean, because I guess on the surface, what you've just said there is remove yourself, and that, I guess, a simplistic analysis would be, oh, well, he's knocking on the idea of personal brand. But I actually think, if I've interpreted what you've said correctly, is that actually no, you're advocating growing personal brand through, sort of value. So, obviously it will be a reflection of yourself, but you're positioning yourself not as this character, but you're positioning yourself as a giver of knowledge and that sort of thing. Is that a correct sort of summary?
That is so true, Stephen. Like everything is personal brand. The people who say personal brand is nothing, that's personal branding. Like it, because personal brand isn't like, it's not a tactic. It's your reputation. It's the feeling people they have about you when they think about you. It's the thing they say to their friend when they're talking about you and you're not in the room, right? It's branding. I've heard it described by Christo like this. Like when you say I'm a good lover, that's advertising. When you say I'm a good lover, I'm a good lover, I'm a good lover, that's marketing. When your friend says, hey, he's a good lover, that's PR. And then when somebody approaches you and they say, hey, I hear you're a good lover, that's branding, right? And it's what people think about you. And so if you go around saying personal branding is a blah, 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 some people do that. I actually really respect the guys that do that too, by the way. But that is their personal brand, right? They're positioning themselves against the personal branding gurus, and that's fine. But like, you just want to make sure that what you're putting out there is the feeling you want people to have when they think about you. So for me, I want people to think that like they're going to learn the most about LinkedIn video than any other account on LinkedIn by tuning into my account. They're going to get a laugh, it's going to be a little kooky. Really, it's going to be really genuine, and I really care. And these are the things that I want to put out into the world. And so that becomes my brand, right? It's all about association with what you want people to associate you with. And whether that's people, whether that's feelings, whether that's companies, it's all about association. Yeah.
I mean, you make it sound so easy. Okay, so obviously technology has evolved very rapidly, and it's for its many pitfalls. One of the positives is it's sort of democratized video production in a way in which we've all got phones, we've all got the internet, CapCut, etc., etc. So if somebody doesn't have any budget but still wants to make videos, where should they start, do you think? What is the simplest approach to take?
Yeah, just use your phone. Just use your phone. That's I use a camera because I'm a video guy and I had a camera laying around, but most people don't. And so just use your phone. I'd say just take your phone. You don't even need a tripod if you don't want to have a tripod. You can do a walk and talk video with your phone, and just as long as you keep it pretty close to your face, the microphone will pick up on you. This is if you have zero budget, right? And you can just literally walk down the street and say your thoughts. And if you want to get a couple of shots, you can walk down one street, go sit at a park bench, get another shot, and then maybe walk down another street and get another shot. It doesn't have to be complicated. Take that, put it in a CapCut, just like snip the endings and snip the silences and pauses and stuff, and upload it. It can be that simple, right? It's not like Danny Delvecchio is a video guy on LinkedIn who I respect a lot. And his whole approach is making it as easy as possible, video as easy as possible, where you set up your phone, You sit down and you like have these ideas and you just say your ideas to the phone. That's all there is to it. The one thing I would recommend though is that if you can invest in a microphone before you invest in any other gear, because if you want to move away from the phone at any point, it's going to affect the audio quality and then people will be less inclined to watch. Just highly recommend getting like a DJI wireless microphone or a Rode Go wireless microphone, and those will pay off big time if you really are serious about video.
Yeah, no, for sure. What's, in your opinion, and obviously the short answer to this is strong hook, but what's the secret sauce to get people to watch beyond that first 3 seconds?
Strong hook. The secret sauce. Yeah, a few things. One, rehooking. So you'll notice in my videos, especially at the beginning, there's a lot of action going on at the beginning of the video. Where typically I will hook once, I'll quickly switch camera movement, and then I'll move on to the next thing. And it happens pretty rapid fire, and then it'll tend to slow down the further on in the video you go. And the reason why that is because if you can hold somebody's attention for like 15 seconds, there's a much, much, much higher chance that they're going to sit and watch the rest of the video. And most people don't. I think my average watch time is like 25 seconds, like whatever. It's okay. At least that gives it a fighting chance to help them to stick around. So that's one thing, just rehooking. You can rehook through like just moving the camera. You could do it through camera, like editing effects if you want to, just, rehook. That's a big one. The other one is story loops, open story loops. So you'll notice a lot in my podcast videos, I am always doing cliffhangers. And I do that for a reason. So I start with a clip of the podcast, end with a cliffhanger, go into my own thing, and then go into the podcast, end it with a cliffhanger. And what those cliffhangers do is it makes you go, oh, like I want to know the answer. Like what? And that is the thing that makes people stick around longer, right? So if you can make people go with your videos, then you're going to help them to actually watch the whole thing. And then the third thing, and this is really important, this might be the most important actually, is just making sure that the viewer knows that it's meant for them and it is addressing the problem that they have and that you have proven ability to address that problem. So call them out at the very beginning. You can just say like, hey, if you're a founder and you need better videos on LinkedIn, here's 10 tips I would do. Like you can do that if you want. And then founders who want better video will say, oh, he's talking to me. So that's one way. Another way is like I use a lot of famous LinkedIn people in my videos. So people who like Lara Acosta or Sam Brown will want to watch the video already. So that's my way of doing that, right? But so they know it's for them because there's some reason for them to like tune in. And then second thing is like they know it's addressing a problem that they have. So often, I'll be like, here's how to humanize your content to make more sales. Or here's how I got 10 leads from a text post last week, So they know that they want that outcome too. So they're more willing to tune in to the rest of the video. And then the last would be proven ability. So if you don't have any authority, then that's okay. You don't have to have authority, but you need to have somebody who does have authority to do it, right? So at the beginning, I didn't really know how to help people with LinkedIn video. I was just experimenting a lot. And so what I would do is I would bring on like people who are much smarter than me, and I'd just get their take on it and be like, hey, how do you make a story that actually works? And Niall Ratcliffe, if the Ratcliffe brothers, he'd be like, oh, it's intention and obstacle. Like, let's talk about intention and obstacle because Niall Ratcliffe made 4.2 million pounds for his clients. So it wasn't about my authority, it was about his authority, right? But it gives people a reason to listen because he has proven that he can do the thing. And so you can get authority in three ways. One is through your own ability to do something like testimonials or your own experience. Two is through the people that you are doing it with. So if you get like Niall Ratcliffe or whatever onto a call, right, there's authority right there. And the third is through like Harvard research studies and stuff like that. Like, this research or like this report from CNBC or whatever from the BBC, what like it adds authority to it because they're a credible source of information. So there's sort of three different ways you can do it.
Wow. So in terms of your sort of creative inspiration, you've referenced open loops, rehooking, quick cuts, and all of that. So who do you most often go to for creative inspo, or who do you admire in the video space, short form or long form?
Yeah. Some of my biggest inspirations are Ryan Trahan. Really like Ryan Trahan. He's amazing.
He is so underrated.
Yeah, he's so good. He's so good. I love Casey Neistat.
The OG.
Yeah, he's the man. Seriously, dude is the best at storytelling. I love Nardwar.
I've studied. Sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted there, but I've studied so many of Casey's videos, and I'll never be able to make a video like him. He makes the mundane feel so interesting.
He's incredible. He's literally the best in the world at it, as far as I know. So great guy to study from. Yeah, I really, one of my biggest heroes is Nardwar, the human serviette. I've loved. We talked about him a little bit, and his style of like quirky video that he does, right? As far as like LinkedIn video goes, I love Vin Matano. He is a fantastic way to do LinkedIn video. He's incredible. I love Arthur Jones. He just has such an incredible, relatable, beautiful way of presenting his thoughts and ideas. Very articulate as well. There's more, but I think the biggest thing is like, if you want to make videos on LinkedIn, let's just use LinkedIn as an example. A really good way to make better videos on LinkedIn is to go off of LinkedIn and find what's working off of LinkedIn and bring it onto LinkedIn, because then you won't just add to the echo chamber, you will contribute. And that's what I did with Ryan Trahan and Casey Neistat, Nardwar, The Office, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, there's really good sound advice there. So just before we wrap up, what's something about your journey that people don't necessarily see?
Something about my journey that people don't necessarily see. I mean, there's a lot of glorifying success, right? Like, I'm very fortunate to have been able to build a brand on LinkedIn and doing, well in business now. But, the reality is I work 6 to 7 days a week. I work 8 to 14 hours a day. And it's for a dream, right? Like, I want to buy a house and I want to have a family and I want to spend lots of time with them. So I'm going through an incredible period of sacrifice right now to do so. And so I don't get out a lot. I work pretty much all day. And that's the reality of what it looks like. I think a lot of people, it's like, when we're building our online avatars, right? We give off a feeling, it's this brand, right? But the amount of work that goes in behind the scenes to make that actually go is incredible. It is a Herculean effort. And so to anybody who's like out there grinding out and doing it, like, that's just how it looks until you're able to outsource more and stuff. So that's where I'm at right now.
I mean, I think many creators actually answer in a similar way, but yet
Yeah.
all of us sit on the other side of the screen and be like, nah, it can't be that hard, can it?
Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy.
It's not a lifestyle that those that are afraid of work choose to do. And so my last question to you, if, for whatever unfortunate event takes place, this is the last video that you ever feature on, what message, and I hope for your sake that this isn't the last video that you ever, because that would be a crying shame of your excellent CV and portfolio. But what message would you want to leave behind?
That's a sweet question. Just be kinder to each other, you know. I think the world's a hard enough place as it is, and we don't need people to put each other down and stuff. Like, I think everyone's just doing their best, you know, and people are good. And if more people saw that, um, I think we'd have a much better society and a much better world.
I mean, in terms of closing messages, I'm not going to be able to top that myself. So thank you very much. That was half an hour with the king of LinkedIn video, Mr. Lewis Butterfield. And Lewis, where can people find you? Obviously LinkedIn. What do they need to type in to be entertained by your videos?
Thanks, man. Yeah, Lewis Butterfield on LinkedIn. And if you want to check out what we're doing, just go to my featured section. You'll see I have a landing page talking about our video community that we're launching in May. And you can check it out there. Yeah.
And I highly recommend it. It's one of the most entertaining LinkedIn feeds that you will come across. Thank you very much.